Alright guys, good afternoon, good morning, good evening, wherever you happen to be in the world. Today we're going to talk about some updated news and rumours surrounding Rostermania, the CDL 2020, loads of stuff. You know how it is, we're back again with the same as always, daily news and rumours, updates, etc, etc, etc. The Modern Warfare beta is out right now and is into day 3 I believe, and a breaking news from Charlie Intel, which I believe must be live already because we're in day 3 of the beta, so it must be today. Infinity Ward says, I haven't had a chance to hop on today yet, but played a little bit last night, and not having a minimap is definitely very frustrating. So, you know, they will be enabling the minimap in Modern Warfare, but as a part of the testing, it won't display enemy fire, which, you know, it's a start. I think it's definitely a step, and as Josh says right here, definitely a step in the right direction here, because honestly, even with a minimap, all I really need the minimap for is just to tell me where my teammates are. Tell me where, especially when I'm trying to learn new maps, and very random maps, to be honest, that aren't really designed with the typical 3-lane competitive style in mind, right? When I'm trying to learn new maps like that, just tell me where my teammates are without having to, like, spin around, do a 360 to see where they are through the blue outlines through the walls. So I can see them on the map, then I know where my enemies are going to come from, then I'm fine. But, you know, hopefully this will be a big improvement, so this is also from a Charlie Intel article I'll leave down below. The things that Infinity Ward are investigating. The camera will remain static on initial deployment for the cruise missile. It seems to take forever to come down, and on one of the maps, the cruise missile, it never shows any of the red dots, at least for me, so I literally had no idea where I was. Spawning and visuals. Spawning is currently inconsistent on some maps. We'll continue to monitor the spawn system and update them. Also be looking into lighting and exposure. Character models are currently clipping through vehicles during the infiltration sequence, and in some cases using the deployable cover field upgrade. These are being investigated. Semtex and smoke effect on weapons being fixed for weekend 2 and launch respectively. Upcoming day 3 beta content, as we just mentioned. As we mentioned yesterday, experimenting with the minimap. So tomorrow the minimap will be turned on but not to display enemy fire, increasing the level cap to level 20 if you guys are currently playing. So I thought I'd run that past you guys, as it's a pretty important update down the stretch. They have said that in the full release of the game, competitive will have a minimap enabled anyway, which really doesn't make much sense to me, but is what it is. Obviously, I'm happy it's enabled for competitive. Hopefully it will be enabled for pubs as well, otherwise it might be a pretty slow year until we get League play, which probably isn't coming at launch. Moving on from Modern Warfare though, Methodsick and another few players on Heretics yesterday announced themselves as a restricted free agent, and in the last few minutes from when I'm recording this video, we had an update from Team Heretics themselves, as you can see on the right hand side of the graphic on your screen right now. Heretics are out of the league for 2020. It's very unlikely, therefore, that we will get a spot in Madrid or Barcelona or somewhere in Spain. Unlikely, and as far as I'm aware, I obviously don't speak Spanish. We'll go through that in just a second though. So yeah, Methodsick announces restricted free agency. Clover Talent he's going to be working with as well, and Journey says the same thing, a restricted free agent. Nice little photo of him. Lucky as well, one of the best players on this team for sure, says a restricted free agency, and so does Legend, who is their coach. I believe Vortex did a tweet as well, but that seems to have been deleted now, so I'm not exactly sure what's going on there. But anyway, definitely seems that that is the case. Unrestricted coach for the season, so hopefully this guy lands somewhere. They were a really fun team to watch. So this was the announcement that Team Heretics gave. They will form no part, I don't know, it seems pretty obvious what this means, of the Call of Duty League in 2020. So, 6-minute video here. I'll leave this linked down below if you guys want to watch it. I don't speak Spanish. There's no, like, English translation, but the too long don't watch is effectively that, as far as I'm aware, Heretics were looking for a spot. They were definitely trying to get one, but Activision decided to, maybe I'm getting this wrong. If you guys know anything more, if you guys have seen anything further on in the day from when I'm recording this video, then let me know in the comment section below, and I might pin your comment. But as far as I'm aware, I believe Activision decided that for this season, they're not going to go forward with a Madrid spot. We have a London spot now, we have a Paris spot now. Would have been nice to have a Madrid spot as well to make things a little bit more global, but of course they're going heavily based in the States. So, as far as I'm aware, Jorge here at Heretics, I believe that's his name, I believe so. He talks about, I'm pretty sure, that they tried their best, but it just wasn't to be this time. Maybe next year, maybe moving forwards, but as of now, it doesn't seem like it's going to be the case that Heretics will get a spot. Disappointing, I'm sure, to all you Spanish guys and from Latin America as well. Hopefully they'll end up on another team. We'll just have to see where it goes. It's disappointing for Global Call of Duty. I guess at least we have a London spot, at least we have a Paris spot, but it's still, it's not an ideal scenario, right? Given this is the This is the Call of Duty World League. They're not even calling it the World League anymore. It's just the Call of Duty League. So hopefully going forwards in future years, if there's 16 teams this year, which is rumoured to, maybe it'll go up in future years. Hopefully we can get something like that going. But for now, it's not going to happen this season. Mike Rafael Hastro says the following here. So a quick little 1-minute clip. I'll probably play you like 30-40 seconds of it because he doesn't really say too much. All he says effectively is that, well, I'll just let him tell you.
So our team so far has had plenty of great discussions with players. We still have not signed a player in full yet or submitted an agreement to the league. But with that said, we are really close with a few players. And I think our team can kind of still go a couple different directions, but we have it whittled down to probably 2 different directions. And so at this point, I just wanted to give you guys an update and let you guys know that I'm really excited about the team that we're looking at right now. Definitely a team that you're going to have a lot of fun watching. So hope you guys stay tuned with us, and I'll try to keep you guys posted.
So yeah, they're looking at a few different options. They've got like narrowed it down to 2 different options for teams. Of course, the other day he was talking about how they want to focus on players with no tilt aspect, and he seems pretty damn excited about it, and players that should be exciting to watch play together. So that's an exciting prospect for a Dallas fan. Of course, we've got this rumoured Los Angeles team of Scump, Formal, TJ, Dashi, and maybe JCap, which would be a crazy team as well. And there's also a rumoured Atlanta team, which are probably Atlanta. Am I getting that right? No, Seattle. There's also the Atlanta team that's rumoured, and which is, let me just go through it if you guys are out of the loop. So Simp, Major Maniac, Celium, Abizi, and Priester. That's rumoured to be the 5-man squad for Atlanta. And then there's a Seattle team which is rumoured, and I'll go through that probably tomorrow. So moving onwards here, to follow up from the London Call of Duty stuff we talked about yesterday, Swizz as general manager. This is interesting because he was the general manager for Splice a couple of years ago. Definitely during the World War II season. I don't know about Infinite Warfare when they won the playoffs, even though I think maybe he was. I forget exactly, but regardless, he has been the general manager for Splice for a relatively large amount of time and has worked with players like Zero, like Tommy, like Mad Cat, Bance. These guys are Jerd, of course. These guys especially. And I believe he gets on really well with some of these players and maybe especially Mad Cat. Now, of course, the interesting part is London is rumoured to be, Scraps is rumoured to be on the team, and Wuskin was also rumoured to be on the team. But as we'll go through in just a second here, Wuskin confirms that him and Scraps will not be teaming together this season. Whether it means they're on London at all, who knows? Dylan hasn't really said too much, so tough to say about that. But if Swizz is the general manager for London COD and they're trying to put together some sort of, UK God squad, as you can see right here in this tweet, to everyone wondering if the only British thing about this team is the name, we have one thing to say to you, it's coming home, implying heavily that there are at least some UK players on the London COD team. Now, it was confirmed later that Scraps and Wuskin will not be on this team together, at least by Wuskin himself, but maybe one of them will. Maybe Dylan will be there, he's from Northern Ireland, and then maybe you could build the rest of the squad around that. And maybe if you have Dylan, for example, and you had Alex, for example, which a lot of people were talking about if you wanted to build a European God squad, maybe with Swizz as general manager, he feels like it's deserved that a guy like Mad Cat, or one of the guys he's played with and worked with before in the past as general manager, could get a spot on the team. So I'd keep an eye out for the guys that he's worked with on Splice to find their way into this London COD team now he is the general manager. So definitely something to say. Moving on to Wuskin's tweet then. So as I went through yesterday, I did this tweet saying, ready to bring the vibe in London. Get a reply here. Scraps has already basically confirmed he's going to be on it too, and Wuskin, I'm pretty sure, is teaming with him. Wuskin then replies to this tweet, I hate to be the one saying it, mate, but I will most likely not be teaming with my bro next year due to circumstances I can't talk about. He has a killer squad and I'll be rooting for him no matter what. The only reason I'm telling you guys this is because a good amount of people think we are. So very interesting stuff. Great of Wuskin to be this out there and to say how it is, right? Probably the reason he says most likely not be is because probably they're definitely not teaming at the start of the year, and then towards the end you never know, there could be team changes, whatever, contract stuff could potentially happen, but unlikely you're probably going to be contracted to a team for an entire year. So it kind of makes sense what Wuskin's saying here, just to be really open and clear with the community, which is great to see. So, but if they are on separate teams, that means that at least us guys from the UK probably have 2 different teams to support at the very least, and one of them, you would imagine at least, would be on the London team, right? If they're going to be on separate teams and there's a London team, you'd think that at least one of them would be on the London team, right? So that's up in the air right now. And Scrap says the following in replies to Intel Call of Duty. So Intel COD Crone tweets this. He quotes the tweet. And Scrap says, got you by the scruff of the neck. So just talking about how he's debating the entire scene. And as Indocod says here, he's not complaining at all with those interactions. Moving onwards then to the title of the video. Karma says him and Crimsix will not be teaming together. This is a pretty damn big deal because the last few days we've been talking about how Crimsix being forced out of Optic Gaming, Scump supposedly not wanting to play with Karma, and of course, as I said earlier, that rumoured team of Scump reuniting with Formor along with the two young guns TJ and Dashi, and then bringing in a final player rumoured to be JCap based on what Crimsix said in that CSGO clip. But of course, I think JCap would be a great addition to that team, to be honest, but obviously some people are saying, well, what if you get a slasher or something like that, and then maybe we could have a crazy rivalry with Karma and Crimsix joining up and then playing against the Scump and Formor, and then we get this like old dynasty rivalry going on. Doesn't seem like it's going to happen though based on this clip.
$5 that you will answer, but will you be teaming with Krim? He's the one man who's stuck by your side. No.
So Karma says a pretty explicit no. Apparently, according to Crone, he follows up saying, Karma said they did want to team, but it didn't work out. So I wonder to what degree this was related to what Crimsix was talking about the other day, where he was saying that when he was forced out and Scump was given this like ultimatum, as he described it, when that situation happened, apparently he had a franchise meeting or something in the morning, and maybe due to the situation as it happens, they just couldn't work out the contracts. Maybe that means Karma's already signed somewhere, or exactly what's going to happen. Maybe, who knows whether Karma's going to play. He has kind of been implying he's going to play, even though earlier he was talking about how he was going to coach. So lots of things, of course, up in the air right now. But it does seem like, at least according to this clip, that Karma and Krim will not be teaming together for the upcoming season. And so what will happen there? It would be crazy to see, because I was kind of looking forward to maybe these two guys teaming up, having some sort of steamy rivalry, especially on a more traditional, maybe boots on the ground title, where the cracked out nature of guys like TJ and Dashi maybe wouldn't play to their advantage so much. So I was interested to see a battle like that. Doesn't seem like it's going to happen though, this year at the very least, but who knows? Of course, Karma's just said it in one single clip. He just says no for now. Whether this means that contracts have been signed by either of these players, it's completely up in the air. I couldn't even really speculate on that matter, but I'd be interested to hear your thoughts on it down in the comment section below. Where will these guys go? Is there a particular city you think they'll end up in? Because we know most likely that Krim and Karma will not be teaming with the Scump team, the rumoured Scump team, as I said, Scump, Formor, Dashi, TJ. So if that is the case, then Karma and Krim will be in different cities other than Los Angeles. Is there any that you think are most likely? So maybe that's the way that we go to try and derive some rumours here. And just before we finish the video here, Spacely says, glad to see NRG come into COD with franchising. Had talks with them in the beginning of Black Ops 4 about picking up what would later be Gen G COD. So, you know, interesting stuff. I don't know if there's any implications here around this tweet, because of course if they were talking to Spacely about the beginning of Black Ops 4 picking up the, what did he call it? It was Team Space, or I think they just called it Team Space or something like that. And anyway, so they eventually got picked up by Gen G. They were in discussions apparently with NRG. I even heard at the time that there may have been discussions with TSM, something like that. But if this is the case, of course, and NRG are coming in and buying the, I believe they have the Chicago spot, right? Which maybe it means that Spacely could be an integral part of the team they're looking at, because if they looked at him back in the Black Ops 4 days, maybe now, he was done pretty well throughout the Black Ops 4 season on the whole, maybe he's a player they're considering to build their team around, because there's not many players in a Spacely's position who could really get away with that and are good, you know, teammates and putting together a team, and are good people for putting together a team and getting some leadership and getting the best people, best levels out of their teammates. There's not too many guys like that really in the scene. You've got the JCaps, you've got the Aches, you've got, I guess, you know, guys like Crimsix and whatever, Slasher, you know, players like this, Enable, for example. And Spacely is a guy who's a little bit on a lower caliber, but definitely you could build a team around him and have some success, as Gen G did in this season. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Like if you did, subscribe if you're new, as I would greatly appreciate it. Yeah, appreciate all the support you guys have shown me lately. It's been a great time. So yeah, thank you guys so much for watching, as always, and I'll see you next time.